Everybody, welcome to the Awesemo.com live before lock show. We'll be taking you through today's 10-game NFL slate, all the important football news that you need to know. We'll be going through. I'm Chris Spags, joined today by my good friend, my Sunday pal. It's a nice little tradition now. Every Sunday we get to hang out. The Chubster, Josh Engelman. How you doing, Josh?
I'm pretty good, I guess. I don't know. I'm ready for the NFL to lock so I can go back to paying attention to a real sport.
Oh, come on. I enjoy the NBA too. I've had a couple nice NBA nights this week, but the NFL's fun. You know, the NFL more of a crapshoot, but you know, people love craps. We got hot girls and other Japanese businessmen blowing on dice. This is what NFL's all about. Just gonna toss them in and hope for the best.
You got it slightly right in that it is crap.
Oh, come on. Well, all right. What are the parts of this slate which strike you as not crap today? Let's have a positive vibe. And what are the things that are exciting you at all about the prospects of the slate?
See, that's the problem here. The things that are exciting me don't excite me.
Okay. That's how I'm not going to say the joke.
Yeah. I, like Ben, have a lot of Derek Carr and Jalen Richard and Martavis Bryant and the rest of Oakland. And I hate myself for it. I have to hate watch football today and think like, oh, I want to make sure that I don't miss any fun plays in the Colts-Raiders game, which is, you know, it's not the best way to do this. But here we are.
Colts were fun last week. Marlon Mack looked good. You know, the Raiders, I think there's some human drama there, some Shakespearean drama with they're literally a band of brothers left in the trenches. Their guys are getting traded off left and right, and you got to see. I think you got to look at it from like a human psychology case study perspective instead of a football perspective.
I have enough trouble picking these damn guys. Now I got to figure out the human psychology. Tommy Walker in the chat. Why is Josh on the show? Josh is on the show every Sunday, man.
Yeah, Tommy. Get with the program, Thomas.
Why is Josh on the show?
Josh, this is the only time I get to hang out with Josh every week now. So like I cherish these moments, Tommy, and I think you should too.
We can go live today at 5:00 for the FanDuel lock at 6 if you're interested. I think, or 4 or whatever the fuck time that game starts. FanDuel is including all 4 games today in the NBA slate. So.
Okay. Yeah, I might play some. I think if I play NBA today, it depends upon how my early slate NFL is looking. I think like if I'm like I need to get something back here, then I'll probably play some NBA. But yeah, NBA has been fun though. Ty Lue fired. What a situation there.
I hate these, like, we'll get to NFL in 30 seconds, but I hate NFL, well, any team, but in particular in the NBA, because I follow it so closely. I hate when they fire a coach in like the first 5 games. If you can think to yourself before the season starts, we will fire our coach if we go 0-5, he should not be your coach any longer.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird one that I don't really understand. And I'm excited to see how it turns out because I do think the Cavs have been played stupidly and their whole like, we're going to play the rookies. We're not going to play the rookies. Let's 40 minutes of J.R. Smith, 40 minutes of Kyle Korver seems stupid, but whatever.
It's mind-blowing. Anyway, let's talk football. Let's talk about how great the Raiders look today. I can't even.
Before we talk football, we'll talk. Yes, we will talk a lot about the Raiders. I'm sure. One thing I was surprised about on the contrary yesterday with Evan Silva and Awesemo being all over Martavis Bryant. Not a thing I was aware of. I was surprised by that because I was terrified.
I hope he's right.
I'm sure he is, but I feel myself going down with that ship today, and that scares me. Anyway, on Awesemo.com right now, we have our ownership projections, a premium article from Awesemo himself breaking down the way he's approaching the slate and the teams that he expects to beat the projections. So go check that out now. Promo code promo code live before lock will get you all that information for free for 1 week. So go sign up now at Awesemo.com. Promo code live before lock. All right. So the Raiders, Tavis Bryant, Jalen Richard. How much of those guys do you have?
Too much, I think, is probably the correct answer. No, like I've got 18% Carr right now, 13 Richard, 19% Cook, 9% Martavis Bryant. The only good thing that I'm like actively trying to touch on Oakland would be nerfing Jordy Nelson, because if he's 25% owned, I'll just happily go the other direction. But I mean, I still have him. If I'm going to have that much Carr, I need to have everybody.
So I'm kidding. I think the Jordy Nelson thing is going to be a good test of how many people are playing are like smart, like, I mean, no, smart, like let's say like smart, like a pro wrestling term where they know it's all fake, like that kind of smart. Not like
Still
actual
real to me,
geniuses,
damn it.
but like I think the Jordy Nelson ownership percentage is going to tell us how many people are just like fat dudes watching football, like with like a beer on their belly and they're making their lineups. Sorry, I guess I shouldn't paint this picture, but you know what I'm saying. We're all picturing the same thing. Guys who yell at the TV a lot. And then how many other people are like the guys staring at their screens all day? Because if Jordy Nelson is 25% owned, I think that's all like casual player money coming in, because I've heard everybody talk shit about Jordy on every piece of content this week.
Yeah, it's just a price thing, I think. That's what gets lost in analysis sometimes. Just the fact like he makes sense because he's cheap as shit, but it's still Jordy Nelson.
Yeah, it's Jordy Nelson, who has not gotten great separation. He's had a couple big games, but those were really just Carr throwing him into wide open spaces for the most part. And that's not a thing he does super often either. If Jordy Nelson goes off today, I think I'm just gonna like jump off something. Some maybe like just my couch, like something just like doesn't hurt that bad. I just want to feel alive if Jordy Nelson does something.
By the way, this one's for chat. Khalil Mack out. Marlon Mack in. If you morons keep just saying Mac in the chat, I'm going to lose my mind.
Well, what about the return of the Mac? Is that in or out?
God, yeah, I'm fine with it. Post Malone did a really nice cover of that on that Hilarity for Charity.
Well, you know what? I like Post Malone. I'll go on a limb and say that. I feel like he's gotten some bad rap, but Post Malone intrigues me as a human being and a musician.
Like, I don't mind if you don't use Valdez Scantling's first name, because I don't think there's going to be more than one of those popping up in the chat, but Mac is a relatively important last name for people, so let's just use the first name as well.
Yeah, so I right now I did play a fair amount of Bears. Like I think I'm definitely over the field. I don't know that I went nuts on it. I know it's stupid. I understand the rationale behind it, but I do think the pricing is interesting, and I like them a lot with Mac in. I would assume their ownership is going to go down even more with Mac out, and does that make the Bears more interesting to you, even though they're so stupid high price?
The Bears haven't been interesting to me all day, unless we're talking about Trubisky, Cohen, Gabriel, Burton. If you're talking about the defense, then I forgot they played.
So you just never pay up a defense. Like, this FanDuel is affected by the pricing, because I've heard people talk about it on some of the shows that I listen to around the industry. And, people are feeling like they're trying to do a QB pricing thing with defenses. And I guess that does add some value to playing the low owned guys who, were the defense equivalent of throwing for 4 TDs, even in an unexpected spot. But I do feel like, you're paying for the Mahomes of defenses is the hope.
Yeah, it's not that I don't pay up for defense. I just simply don't care what comes up.
Okay.
Like if I got 15% Bears, it's not as if I'm going to go in here and change it and like use that as a problem. It's just never going to be that for me.
Okay, that's fair. I think I've seen some people who are trying to get cute with like playing Darnold stacks, and I don't mind Trenton Cannon a little. Like I think people are he's getting a little too much tout love. I don't think he's going to be super high owned, but I don't know. I just think it's a really good spot for the Bears because Darnold just looked bad. They're coming off of a couple bad weeks, and I think they're going to pin their ears back and just damage Darnold today. And I think they have something to prove too with Mac out. I mean, this has been a defense where people are clearly defining them like Khalil Mack. I don't know.
I get it. It's I don't know. I just find defense to be really weird.
Oh, I think it's weird and random, but I think there is some value without like an obvious quarterback on the other side, or you're like, let's tack this guy on this slate in particular, unless you think CJ Beathard and the Cardinals is that spot, which I don't think it is. I think people are reverse point chasing there, where they're like, Beathard got killed by the Rams. Of course the Cardinals are going to kill him. Yeah, the Cardinals with their star corner trying to get traded, they're going to really show up for this one, I'm sure. I don't know, man. I think defense is weird this week, and I don't mind the Bears just giving me some safety. We know Darnold's going to throw 2 picks. Maybe one of them goes to the house.
The only way that I would prioritize the defense is if we knew about like really inclement weather. Mm-hmm. Some game that's going to be sloppy where you could see like 2 scoop and score fumbles. But otherwise, I can't imagine I would want to know that I have an extra $1,500 to spend to go from a good example, Nick Chubb to Joe Mixon. Then I would rather care if I had the Bears or the Baltimore Ravens. Like the Ravens are 3,700 on FanDuel and the Bears are 5,000. Like I'll go anywhere.
Yeah. No, I think that makes sense. And, I'm definitely not as smart as Alex. I think Alex is generally more of Osmo is more of a fan of paying down for defense than just playing the variance. So that is definitely a smarter move. But, I think it's a weird defense slate. A lot of the cheap guys are on the road. I've noticed that they're not going to home defenses that are super cheap besides the Steelers. So I don't know. I think it's an interesting spot to pay up there, get weird. I think there's enough value other places to fit the guys you want in. How are you approaching Todd Gurley today?
He's an interesting dude. I'm trying to just stay with the field on FanDuel. He's $2,100 more expensive than Barkley as the second spot. So I want to have some of him. Ben touched on this during the game plan, but a lot of that Oakland stack is so cheap that when you do it, it opens you up to a lot of high price studs. So I'm trying to temper my expectations because if any sort of lower priced running back with some volume hits, it makes Gurley's points per dollar struggle. So shout out to Ben for making that entire point. So I feel the same way, but I can't just fully avoid him because all he does is put up like a ridiculous fantasy line every single week.
Yeah, it's tough because, I do think there's so much value in that 7K or 7,500 to like whatever 6,500 range, and then obviously you also have the Fabian or I always think Fabian. There was Fabian Washington was on the Raiders a couple of years ago, right? And he was their pass catching dude. And that's like an old guy like sports analyst thing. I feel like where you just think of a random dude and you're like, yeah, that guy, same thing.
Know who you mean. That's all that matters.
Yeah, no, Jalen Richard. I think like he's going to be a popular plug and play for that. I think I'd rather just pay for like the Hunt, Mixon, Connor tier of guys. Pretty repeatedly. I went there a lot. I'm just comfortable with those guys. In fact, they all have some upside. Hunt's going to be a little point chasey, but Connor and Mixon I think is super interesting. Mixon especially as like a Dalton pivot, I think is interesting because like Dalton doesn't throw as much with Mixon on the field. I think like that's one thing that I don't see a lot of people talking about. That offense definitely hinges a lot more on Mixon than it did when Bernard was in, and I think Mixon is a logical play there versus the Bucs, and they can't stop anything. Nick Chubb got going last week, but I think Mixon could get going substantially better than Chubb did.
I have a ton of the Bengals, but that's not exactly a shocking scenario.
Yeah, the Bengals are one of the teams that Osmo mentions in his premium article, so spoiler alert, but go check it out with promo code live before lock. But yeah, I think that the Bengals are a great team. I was surprised on our ownership projections how low the Bucs are. I'm also a little concerned yesterday on the Contrary show. Deshaun Watson is still my contrarian wide receiver pick. But I don't know how he's going to handle the rumors that he requested a trade and he like got snippy with some press people who asked him about it, like shook his head and like sighed at them and like walked off. I worry. I don't want to get screwed by James. Oh boy,
I have a little bit of those guys. I don't have any Jameis, but I have some Evans, Howard, and Jackson.
I have a ton of Jameis this week. Jameis is my most owned quarterback.
Okay, so we're on opposite sides of that spectrum because I've got zero. You can be eating all sorts of crab legs tonight if Jameis goes well.
Yeah, no, I think I was surprised. He's a little higher owned in our ownership projections than Andy Dalton. But to me, the thing is just that Jameis gets so much opportunity to throw the ball, and he can throw 2 or 3 picks, and it doesn't matter. He's been running the ball more too. And I just don't think I hate Terrell Austin defenses. I've said this on a few shows. I just think he's a bad coordinator, and I think the Bucs are going to blow him open. I don't know. Like I've also been chasing Bucs spots for the last few weeks. Last week it didn't work out super well with the defensive coordinator kind of knowing just to blitz Baker Mayfield on every play.
Sounds like you're
this week. Yeah, that is what you do, and that's probably what will happen again today. But I don't know. Who's your most owned quarterback?
Andy Dalton.
Okay, I think Dalton's a good spot too. I mean, going against the Bucs. The Bucs, I wrote it in my column this week. Like it was basically like a dead cat bounce with a stock, where like a stock is plummeting and it goes up a little bit because like, all right, that's too low for it. And that's sort of what that Bucs defense was. It's like you get a new guy in there, he yells at you, you're like, yeah, this guy's yelling at me. It's a different guy yelling at me. Whoa. And then like 3 quarters later, it's just like, all right, we're back to the same shit. Everybody's hurt. It's terrible. So, I don't know. That's life though.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a decent amount of Dalton for right now.
Who else? Give me your like 3 most owned guys. Who are the guys you're feeling most confident about? Yeah, is Derek Carr gonna be one of them?
It is. It's Dalton. Oh, it's Derek Carr. It's Roethlisberger. Fat Matt, and Trubisky are my 5 most owned quarterbacks.
Yeah, Fat Matt was another guy who Osmo was all over too. He likes that stack a lot with Tate and Galladay.
Same.
Yeah, I like the Seattle side of that matchup more. And Wilson was a guy who was one of my preferred contrarian QBs this week because he's very low owned, and Detroit's pass defense has just been bad. They're probably going to sack Wilson a couple times because that's just how it goes. That Seattle line's bad, and Detroit's generating a ton of pressure. But besides that, they give, according to Football Outsiders DVOA, they give a boost to every position on the field as pass catcher. And I think Doug Baldwin, to me, in that London game, looked pretty fresh and back to what I expect Doug Baldwin to look like. So this could be that game where, like, there's one every year where there's like 40 points for Wilson, 40 points for Doug Baldwin. I don't know that they get there with Brian Schottenheimer as the coordinator this year, but
I hope not.
It's to me, it's not impossible that they just throw all over the Lions, and the Lions can keep up on the other end with carry on and the pass game.
Michael Fitch says, just say you have everyone, Josh. I don't. I have 7 quarterbacks. That's it.
Ooh, Josh and the 7 quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's my band in college.
What about, let's talk about running back a little more. Who are your most owned running back guys?
Pretty much everybody at the top. I have mix and match throughout most, but I'm way higher on the field than Christian McCaffrey. I'm way lower than the field on Hunt and Connor. That's probably the easiest way to say it.
Just ownership reasons or some other reason?
Because of the way that I have my quarterbacks, I just naturally didn't get to all that much Hunt. I don't have him projected all that well either. And at 40%, I'll happily be less. Connor is one that I knocked down on purpose. I wasn't getting a ton of Antonio Brown, and I was getting quite a bit of Connor. And if Connor was going to be 40% on FanDuel and Brown 15%, I just wanted to bring Connor down, hoping that would transition some of that ownership to Antonio Brown and pull him up. So Connor's ownership is why I'm going that direction. McCaffrey is just natural because I have Cam as one of those 7 quarterbacks.
Yeah, I like Connor a lot just because I think he's going to get enough touches, and this Browns run defense is pretty bad. But him having that gigantic game versus them and 2 gigantic games in a row does kind of worry me about, I don't know. This seems due to regress a little, and I think that gives you a little equity more if you're playing Ben and AB, or Ben and, I mean, you can play Ben and Juju, but I think Ben and AB would be the combo I would go with.
I mean, I've got 18% Roethlisberger, and I've got a similar amount of everybody else. So, like, I still have 25% Connor, but I'm not going to 40.
Jason Kelly, if you don't have Hunt, then why don't you have more Mahomes? Does that mean you're somewhat fading the Chiefs?
For the most part, yeah.
Interesting. And we are taking questions here, obviously, on the Live Before Lock shows lately. We've been doing a lot more premium Slack stuff, but there's less questions in the premium Slack. But we are checking that, and we are checking the YouTube chat. So drop your questions in, preferably less either ors, because those are tough to answer and be interesting. But any sort of like general questions, like Jason Kelly just asked, we'll get to those as soon as I see them and they seem relevant. What about wide receivers? Where are we shaking out with that?
Yeah, lots of AJ Green, which shouldn't be terribly surprising after I told you guys that I was on a ton of Andy Dalton. Quite a bit of Robert Woods, which I'm not really comfortable with, but I think it's just too good of a spot. I don't really have anything from the Green Bay side, which is probably the stance that I'm taking that I'm not most comfortable with. I like cheering for Aaron Rodgers, but it's hard for me to separate that.
That's fair. Yeah, I'm not on Green Bay as much. I think it's weird. It's like kind of a morass of guys there. And, Cobb coming back in, Allison coming back in, how are they going to look? You still have Marquez Valdez-Scantling there, who looks good, but not, I don't know. Like, I agree with you. It's like a tough spot to parse out. I don't have enough ownership, and I know that, and I feel like that's not going to be great.
I'm stupidly playing a ton of Jermaine Kearse today, which, went fucking swimmingly last week.
Yeah, that was terrible for me, but the logic, like, that's why it was so bad and it was so chalky. And this week is definitely the week to go back there, because that's just how DFS works. So I think you're dead right with that. I didn't have the courage to do it.
Yeah, I have it a lot. He's so cheap. He's 4,700 on FanDuel, which is 200 above the minimum. So I don't have a choice. Ooh, NFL Screen HD TV. Goodbye.
Oh, I got him already.
Oh, damn, you're quick.
I would actually got one during the other show, during the game plan show.
I know you beat me to that one too.
I don't know why, like, channel spam is like my least favorite thing, whether it's like somebody just who talks too much and cuts everybody else out, or it's like people linking shitty stream sites. Like,
to be fair, this whole chat is mostly spam.
Well, yeah, but I just want to hear people's thoughts. Like, I want everybody, like the one dude who like puts 10 in a row and is like, it's not about one person here. It's a community. We're building a community.
That's fair.
Should I fade Connor or Hunt? Which of those two guys would you fade for your boy Dez?
I mean, I have less Hunt than I have Connor, so my answer would be Hunt.
I would probably also go Hunt, just because I think that game could break a bunch of different ways. Whereas like the Connor will get 20 touches today. I find it hard to believe he wouldn't get 20 touches unless they just. I know even if they steamroll him, he'll get 20 touches. So yeah, I think Connor is much safer. So I would go Connor. They both look good though. They both look really fucking good. So it's tough. Spags' dog is awesome. Yeah, my dog. That's my dog has got some fucking conjunctivitis or something right now, which has to go to the she has to go to the vet tomorrow. But yeah, she's in the background now. They're not in the bedroom anymore because they've learned to stop being assholes when I talk on video. Bit of benefit.
I'm happy that Sean V is liking Stafford today, so that makes me feel good when I have someone that aligns with Sean V's whatever take.
Sean V's beautiful mind.
Yeah. It makes me happy.
Look, if Alex and Sean V are coming together on something, that probably is a noteworthy occurrence, I guess, because I don't imagine their processes are very similar.
I'm going to go ahead and assume that they are very different.
Chalk Fade on the premium Slack asking, can I get a Lindsay take? What are you doing with Philip Lindsay today, given that Royce Freeman is out?
I barely have any.
Okay. I don't have a ton of him. Mostly because I like the guys priced a little higher and a little lower, but I think it's a very valid play. And I think he gets more pass game work than people expect if it goes that way. I know Devontae Booker's preferred pass blocker there, but Lindsay to me is more explosive, and I could see him breaking a play or two even if he gets like 5 targets. Yeah, I don't mind Lindsay. I'm just not playing enough of him.
Yeah, I think people are going to play. I mean, obviously the price is okay, but I think people are just going to play them because they're playing Kansas City. And I don't. He's projected to be 18% owned on FanDuel, and everybody else on the Broncos is like 7% or less. So I find it hard to believe that he's just worth it, and this game is worth it. In that, like, that all doesn't add up to me the way that it should if he's going to be 18% owned. So I'm just kind of avoiding it.
I think that makes sense. I would definitely go. I would prefer to go with a Case Keenum related stack, just because I think that Keenum is pretty undervalued. He had that one bad game versus the Chiefs, and obviously it doesn't. I mean, obviously it means he'll have bad games forever. But no, like that's sort of the reason why you go back there and hope that he does a little better. Maybe target Demaryius Thomas as a part of that stack with Keenum, and he's got some trade rumors around him. Wants to stay a Bronco. I don't know. Sanders also looks great. I think one of those guys is going to have a day. I don't mind Case Keenum as a punty quarterback.
Sure. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. It's probably going to go poorly.
Probably, yeah. Not a high owned one, but you don't need a lot to get above the field on Case Keenum.
Exactly.
Yeah, Lindsay is a lock. I would certainly say on this slate in particular, no running back is a lock.
I'd be remiss to say that he's grading out really well in Alex's rankings. So,
yeah. No, I think he liked Lindsay just because of the opportunity. And that makes sense. Alex is an opportunity guy. So that's, I'd rather have Mixon. I'd rather have, Connor. That's just how I felt about the slate. Burton is a good play with Robinson out. Trubisky targeted him once Robinson came out. Are you playing any Bears offense? They're kind of underowned, even though they've been explosive the last few weeks.
Quite a bit. Again, an unappealing stance to take. Having to pay attention to the Jets-Bears game. But yeah, I've got Trubisky, Cohen, Gabriel, Burton. I'm there. It's damn you, Hunter M.
Any Jordan Howard?
Very little.
Okay.
I mean, if I'm stacking up Trubisky, Howard. I don't need Jordan Howard. If he catches a touchdown pass, kudos.
Yeah, I have one millionaire maker lineup with Jordan Howard. And I think another regular lineup with Jordan Howard. And that's it, because the price is really low, and bad weather in Chicago. Chris Cox is saying that somebody else before, I think it was one of the Michaels, said that it's raining there. It's like 40 something degrees. I think it was Michael Fitch who said it, actually, because he always has a smiley face on his YouTube chats. That's how I identify you guys, the ways you type. I think Jordan Howard, this could be the week, but if you tell anybody that and he just does Jordan Howard shit, you look like an asshole. So I don't want to tell anybody that.
I liked Jordan Howard a lot last week. It's just really scary. If you want to get him, it's not that difficult. He's barely owned, so.
Yeah, I agree. I think Jordan Howard's very cheap, and it's felt like a Jordan Howard breakout week. I think everybody's fatigued of Jordan Howard breakout week. So that's the reason you go to
Maybe that's why he's so bad. Maybe he's fatigued of it too.
He talked about it in the media this week where he was like, I trust the coaches, like we're going to get it going and whatever. And then I guess there were some coach quotes about like, we got to get him going, which obviously the coaches are going to say, but the fact that he was commenting on it as though they had like talked about it was interesting, but who knows? Hunter M. Yes, we know Mac is out. We know Khalil Mack is out. Marlon Mack is in. That's okay. We got to get our Macs straight. Specify your Macs when you're dropping them in chat about them being out. Don't confuse people.
I want to Mac everyone for not writing this correctly in our chat.
Legalized in the premium Slack asking thoughts on T.Y. Hilton. I saw earlier, I think actually might have been Sean B saying in the game plan chat that one of the Moto Blinders guys is very big on Hilton. I assume Hilton's going to have a lot of love this week just because he had a pretty big game last week, even though they were blowing the Bills out and they didn't throw a ton. I like Hilton in general, so I'm okay with him. I have a fair amount of him. I don't know. I didn't see our ownership update this morning.
I'm right with the field on Hilton.
Yeah.
I see no reason why he couldn't go nuts.
Yeah, that's about where I am too. I think we haven't projected on DK for about 17% ownership. I think that's totally fair. I might actually have closer to 20, so I guess I'd be a little above the field on him. But I think it's a good spot. I worry it might get a little chalky though. I think a lot of people are going to see the same thing I saw, which jumped out is like Luck throwing it 44 times a game versus the pass defense giving up a ton of yards per play. And I think that's going to put people on Hilton. So I don't know. But people are going to chase Mac too a little, I would assume. Mac not highly owned. I'm surprised by that.
Because people keep thinking he's fucking out. Because our chat keeps saying Mac.
That's true. Yeah, don't obfuscate things. Oh, you beat me to that spam. Damn you.
Yeah, I'm good like that. There's a lot of spam too.
Yeah, I agree. Favorite wide receiver punt for big man Jokic in the premium Slack. Who's yours?
Curse.
I got put on Martavis Bryant by Osmo yesterday and Evan Silva, and I actually felt uncomfortable with him before that, but they sold me on it. And believe me, it's hard for me to uncomfortable with the cheap play because I love the rest in peace, Rat Man. Might be the Rat Man's week this week.
One day you'll get that.
I do think I wouldn't be surprised if it were a Rat Man week. I don't have a lot of him. I don't think I might not even have any of him, but I'm rooting for the Rat Man.
I have none.
The Rat Man's only the only guy I feel like I've seen on the NFL, and it's not a slight on him because he's a new guy. He's just getting in the public eye. He's got like 5,000 followers on Twitter. I'm like, and you couldn't get me a follow back? Like, the only dude supporting you.
I don't think we need to talk anymore. Daniel Charles just wants us to post our lineup. So.
Oh, okay.
That'd be a good idea, Daniel.
Yeah, we'll just drop lineups in there.
Yeah. Do you just want one, or do you want the other 149 that I'm playing?
My lineup is actually just a game stack entirely of the Buffalo Bills on a bye. It's the best they're gonna look all season, so I'm comfortable with it.
I'm game stacking. Fuck, I was trying to think of a funny answer, but now I don't have one. It doesn't matter because it's 12:30. You know what that means.
Ooh, it is time to make our 100-yard picks. Our franchise. Actually, I don't remember how we did last week.
I don't fucking remember.
last week is this week has flown by.
Who did I have?
You had Mike Evans. He hit. I do remember that. Brandon Cooks did not. So you got it. I did not. You are up 4-2-2 right now.
Whoop whoop.
Fucking Brandon Cooks. I mean, it made sense. They just smoked those guys, but still. Back on Cooks this week.
Is that your guy?
He's not my guy, but who's your guy? I mean, you should go first because you're the leader.
I am going to go with Golden Taint.
Okay. I like that. Any particular reason why you're feeling him?
I just have a lot of him, and I feel like that should be something I follow up with. Otherwise, I'm going to pick someone like Devontae Adams, who I have 0 of. Seems weird.
That seems fair to me. I'm going to go... How risky do I want to be? You know what? I'm going to go, you know what? I'm going to go with my guy. So somebody in the chat has asked this question. I'm going down with the Deshaun Jackson ship this week. Ooh. So this is
I thought you were going Ratman.
no, Ratman. He's not a 100-yard guy. He's more of like a 8-catch, 80-yard guy, 2 touchdowns. That's more his style.
Daniel Charles, if you're curious what the cheat code is, it's learning how to not use caps lock.
I agree.
That'll probably get you a bit further.
All right, so there we go. How come Josh looks like he's inside my computer and Chris does not? Because Josh has a green screen and I have a dog with conjunctivitis in the background.
Chris has been farting on his dog's pillow for the past week, and his dog's all bummed now.
Yeah, no, she's just suffering because of my gastrointestinal issues. Don't forget to make Millie Maker lineup. Not this week, T Drizzle. I don't have cash laying around. They don't pay us for these lineups, even though we're on the air.
I've got a bunch of Millie lineups in FanDuel today because I want a boatload of tickets.
Oh, that's nice. I had a few last week, and then I blew one of them because I just forgot to do my lineups during the show. But this week, I did all my lineups before we did the show. So no worries for your pal Spags this week.
It had to happen eventually. We've been doing these shows for like a calendar year now.
I know, and I always do it, and I just because I think I'm going to be better at doing both, but then we're talking, and I'm in the flow, and I'm reading the chat, and I just forget about myself. I'm too giving. That's always what people say. Too generous. Too generous of spirit.
Old generous Spags.
By the way, please throw us a like. That is something that helps us out a lot. We're here giving you this content for free because we care, but also because we are whores for your likes. So please click that little thumbs up button. It helps the channel out. And our picks get better as we get more likes. That's just kind of how it goes. There's a real correlation play there. Let's see. Baltimore DGPP, Chris Cox is asking. I've heard some tout love for Cam Newton, and I don't see it. I like the Baltimore defense more than Cam. I have at least a little bit of them. How do you feel about that game? Do you have any Cam or Baltimore?
Quite a bit of Cam, quite a bit of McCaffrey, little bits of Funchess and Olsen. So yeah, I like the Panthers there.
Yeah, I think the Panthers. I think the Panthers are going to have a tough time. To me, it seems like a real letdown spot. They came back against Philly. Ravens coming off a tough loss to the Saints at home. Seems to me like just going off of old gambling, wives' tales or trends and whatever. But that means the Ravens should have some nice value today. I'm playing more John Brown than I am anybody on the Panthers or Ravens or the defenses. Like John Brown.
I have essentially 0 Ravens.
It's fair. I think it's going to be a pretty down-paced matchup. I'm not expecting anyone to shoot out, but I think Brown can get behind their defense. I think Browns look good. Ravens are getting blown out. Okay, Prime. Like, you cannot say LMAO Ravens are getting blown out. When have they gotten blown out once?
I just hate takes like that.
I do too. I also hate anybody who says LMAO, like, you're such an idiot. I'm a genius, and I'm going to say this outrageous thing.
I hope you're betting the game.
Yeah, that's true. Bet your life savings on that game. Then if they're getting blown out, you are the one guy. I think Ravens are favored, right?
I have no idea. I haven't looked at the line. No, they can't be in Carolina.
Yeah, they were favored by 2 at least when I last updated. I think yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, 22.8 to 20.8.
But really, fair enough. That's a
yeah.
It's up to 2. It opened at a pick. I knew it was closer than that when it opened. 2.5. Yeah. It's a spot which does all the gambling things would go to the Ravens. I think just the nature of how that goes. Let's see. We can't hear you. Volume issues. Turn your volume up. I think everybody. Rome the Traveler. That is literally just you.
I think it's because he's yelling and all caps locks. He's like the overmodulating Will Ferrell guy on SNL.
Yeah, you turn your caps lock off. Maybe you could hear it. That's what's too loud right
now. He just posted it over. Please stop posting it over and over again. Turn your volume up. It's you. It's definitely just you.
Yeah. No one else has said it yet.
No, everybody else is like, you're too loud. Stop yelling at us. Stop berating us. How about a Godwin Winston stack? Sure. This is one thing that Silva and Osmo pointed out yesterday was that the pass concentration isn't really there for the Bucs with any player. And I think that's what scared Alex a little bit more off of the Bucs. I don't want to speak for him, but I think that was one thing which he didn't love about that matchup. So I'm not crazy about Godwin. I prefer Deshaun is my preferred stack guy. I have a lot of Evans too, some OJ Howard, a little bit of Adam Humphries, but and I have like maybe a handful of Godwin lineups too. But
I don't have
it's
any
tough
Godwin.
to parse that out. Nor should you. He doesn't get enough targets.
Yeah, I have just Evans, Jackson, and Howard, and that's all coming back with like all of the Cincinnati stacks.
Mike Kataja audio mix or Kataha. Sorry, tell me how you pronounce your name, Mike, in the chat because I'm curious. Turn on closed captioning. Yeah, turn on closed captioning if you can't hear us. Just
God, I can't imagine what that would look like.
Oh God, just gibberish coming out of our mouths.
Fantastic stuff.
Let's see.
Give me a hot take for today.
Hot take for today. I feel like my lineups are pretty. Sammy Watkins, highest scoring pass catcher in Kansas City.
Really?
I like Sammy Watkins a lot. At 8% ownership too, or might actually be down now a little.
I could see it. It's a hot take. It's not an outlandish hot take either.
No, I think that's the thing. Is like it's in the spectrum of things that could occur, and I just like how they use him in matchups that like they need. Like it could be a little tougher sledding for him. Not that the Broncos defense is the Broncos defense of the past, but it's a division rivalry game where the Broncos are playing to save their season. I think they use Watkins in a couple creative ways and get him into space. And he's 4,600 on DK. Like it's got 20-point upside.
Drew N likes it. So.
Oh, good. Yay. Good, Drew. Good. We're doing it. Football season, bringing us together. Actually, Chadwick Richardson bringing me on one of my other. This one is actually much hotter. Josh Rosen, millionaire maker winning quarterback.
Does he have a really nice smile? Those are the kind of hot takes you get on the contrary, folks. Tune in to see Chris tout someone's smile as a DFS positive.
So to be clear, I touted Byron Leftwich, the new offensive coordinator of the Cardinals smile. So I think it's not like a player smile thing. It was more of a, he's just going to.
So you would not be playing Shawn Michaels when he lost his smile.
No. That was his DFS value was at his lowest. He was like 3K for a few years after that, or a few months at least.
Yeah. God. I almost forgot about it. Whew.
The people enjoyed that, but that's obviously not the reason I'm into it. I think Byron Leftwich is just a smart guy who's played in spread offenses his whole career. He's had smart offensive coordinators around him. He's been under Bruce Arians. Like, I think Mike McCoy was just so bad. We talked about it in the preseason. Like, we identified, like, boy, his teams have been really bad and they don't throw deep. And that seems like it doesn't fit anything Bruce Arians did. And now you have a coordinator who's coming from the Arians coaching tree, who knows the goal is to get David Johnson into space. So I think you could play Rosen and then, and Johnson and hope for the best, hope that there are some of the short kind of passes to get Johnson into space. And I think, there's a chance Christian Kirk or Larry gets going. But Rosen and Johnson.
I have quite a bit of David Johnson. That game is gross.
How much Rosen do you have? 50%?
Absolutely zero.
Well, all right. I'm playing Josh Rosen. Not a ton, but again, don't need a ton. Don't need a ton of bullets with Josh Rosen.
You might be the only bullet in the tournament.
Look, you'll all rue the day that you turned your eyes on the greatest Jewish athletes in Sandy Koufax.
I couldn't even name another one.
Wasn't there another baseball player?
I'm sure there's a lot.
Ben Stein. I actually my high school quarterback, who was younger than us, was Ben Stein, one of our quarterbacks. We had a Korean kid though, a quarterback my year.
That's different.
It's just fun facts. In case you ever want to play Chris trivia, now you know. Ben Stein was our quarterback, our backup quarterback. Winston or Breeze for season long?
We'll care.
Answer one season long question. I care. Winston, Kyle. Winston.
I don't have an answer.
Crowell or Jordan Howard? I don't want to do neither or for this one. It would probably be Jordan Howard for me. But next, what do you think about Crowell? Let's talk about that, I guess.
Let's find out here. Two guys whose names I haven't thought of yet today. So I have a lot more Isaiah Crowell than I do Jordan Howard. We could reverse that in my projections, and I probably wouldn't notice.
So you're not okay, but like the idea that Crowell is possibly going to be, I don't know if it's the same for FanDuel, possibly going to be 20% owned according to our projections. That doesn't make you think I should have like a little Crowell?
I have 10%.
Okay. So you do have some. I have no Crowell. I'm Crowell-less, and I've been a Crowell advocate, but not versus the Bears.
That's my Halloween costume. I'm Cruella DeVille.
What does he want to do with that? Like, is he trying to make Dalmatians into a coat, or is he trying to like make football skins into a coat?
I don't know. I got nothing, man.
I just wanted to dig deeper. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Cruella DeVille. I wanted to see where it could go.
I don't even have anything back. You turning humans into coats, maybe?
Oh, T McBee in the chat, one of our smart guys that we like a lot. A Jewish guy wins the series either way this year. Interesting. I don't know which Jewish guys are on the Sox and.
There's 50 people on the 25-man roster. It stands to reason at least one or two of them are Jewish, right?
What if Mac Muncy is Jewish? I would explain why he's the greatest hitter ever.
Hey, I've been telling you guys all season.
I saw you tweet that. I slacked it to you and Jake the second that it occurred because I was still up watching the game because it wasn't that late here.
I forgot baseball was on.
No, yeah. I turned it on once I saw people complaining about the game still going, and I was like, this is my time to get on board. When everybody's mad at the game and it's about to be over. Now Mr. Burns, see my vest is stuck in my head.
Oh, God, great. That's so good. I miss The Simpsons.
See my vest.
Favorite tight end today?
Poo for The Simpsons. Favorite tight end.
That's not named Travis Kelce, I guess, because I feel like he doesn't count.
Yeah, it probably Kelce. Might be Kittle, because again, stacking up cards.
I probably have not enough Kelce today.
I don't either. I don't think. But I think it makes sense, though, because people are going to chase him. They're going to assume that's how you beat the Broncos.
Yeah, they'll beat the Broncos easily without having to focus on any particular person.
Well, that's the thing, though, is that like last time Kelce was so great in part because they sold out to try to stop Tyreek Hill. And I don't think they're going to take that exact same approach this time. So I do think Kelce is a little less appealing this time out. Mookie Betts is Jewish? Really? Huh, good for Mookie Betts. Wait, is that a joke? That's got to be a joke, right?
I feel like we're just singing the Hanukkah song right now. Mookie Betts. Have a Jew.
I think, Adam Sandler should just do a version of that song every year.
He probably could.
Probably could. I mean, Netflix will pay him $5 million for it, I'm sure. Just do a Hanukkah special. Brian Schultz in the YouTube chat asking about Trenton Cannon. I don't think we actually addressed. Do you have any Trenton Cannon at all?
No.
Okay. I don't mind him. I think people might overown him, but I don't mind him.
So, yeah, I don't have him.
I think that you're all going to want to see what he could do. And obviously a pass catcher coming against the Bears. Bears have been putting up some points. I have no problem with Trenton Cannon. Oh boy. Oh, Antoine agrees that Sammy Watkins is the play. So me, Antoine, and Drew N all on the same Sammy Watkins island.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get, where's my exposure column? Sammy Watkins. Where's the 0 key on my keyboard?
Can we get to -5?
It's fine. I've already got none of him. So I don't have to make any changes.
I mean, like, that's the move, though, is like so like the way that I view high scoring games, and I think it's been something which I've been sort of figured out or inferred from all the things we've done, all the various shows, is like, it's like a choose your own adventure book, is like how those things can turn out. So a lot of people are choosing the Kareem Hunt path. A lot of people are choosing the Travis Kelce path. I'm going to turn to page 72. I'm going to go to Sammy Watkins, and maybe it'll end with a bear eating me in a cave, but I'm going to the Sammy Watkins page.
When you get there, it just says "you dead." Period.
I get dysentery like Oregon Trail.
Yep.
Deleting all
you
my
caught
Watkins.
the Sammy Watkins AIDS for today.
Oh, true. And Josh, you're donezo. I agree. You gotta have a little Watkins in the mix. I don't have a ton of Watkins to be clear, but again, doesn't take a ton. He's single digit ownership. So cool. Better for DraftKings.
Okay, go ahead.
Better for DraftKings, Saquon or Hunt. We didn't talk much about Saquon, but he's also on this slate, and he is a guy who can do anything in any matchup.
I would greatly prefer Barkley to Hunt on DraftKings unless their ownership is weird or their price is weird. I don't play any DraftKings, so I can only speak to what I'm doing on FanDuel. So what are their prices if you have them in front of you? I mean, I assume they're close.
I know Hunt is 7,100, and then who is the other dude?
Barkley.
Saquon's 8,800.
88 and 71.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. I would probably prefer Hunt there unless Barkley has no ownership, which is certainly possible at that price if Hunt is 71.
Yeah, Barkley projected for 9% ownership. I think Hunt was projected. Let's see. I haven't updated my sheet. Shit.
I mean, it's got to be way higher than that.
Yeah.
I would rather have Barkley in a GPP in that scenario, particularly on DraftKings. But I mean, that's an interesting price point.
Yeah, Hunt, the number 2 projected owned running back for DK, just behind Gurley. So at 30, yeah, I would go Saquon there. I think if you're trying to get ahead of a field, but I think the smarter play is probably Hunt because I don't mind taking the chalk there. Just differentiate somewhere else. I don't think the Redskins D is that bad. Not that that matters for Barkley.
I don't know what to do with the damn Redskins. I have some Alex Smith today, and I hate myself for it.
Michael L. and Michael J. asking, weird that there's a Michael L. and a Michael J. Why don't you play DK, Josh? DK crunches, Josh. What's gotten you off DK?
The fact that I don't want to do work twice.
That's as American as it gets.
It's just, I'd rather focus on one site, particularly now that basketball is back. There's too much on my plate. I don't want to have to think about 2 separate price points. I also just prefer FanDuel for everything that I do.
And I prefer DK. So that's Jannar, to answer your question in chat. If you don't play DK, then why not name this FanDuel live before lock? Most of the principles are still the same, but also on pretty much every show, we have people who play both sites. I play DK pretty much exclusively. Josh plays FanDuel.
Yeah. So why do we have to name it any site live before lock? It's just live before lock. The concept is that we are live up until lock. I could tell you that I just play Draft or Yahoo. What's the difference?
I would think less of you if you just played Yahoo. It'd be like, are you a 50-year-old man who thinks that the only way you could win at fantasy is like one lineup in a max 10 lineup tournament?
I only play Draft Street. I take my time machine back to 6 years ago.
Oh man, I wish everybody won all the DFS guys today won all their money on Draft Street back in the day.
I get screenshots of my lineups from Draft Street every once in a while in my time hop. It makes me happy.
I wish I had done this earlier instead of thinking like, oh, it's stupid, and then I jumped on when all the stupid national commercials hit like an idiot. Goff or Carr? Oof. What are you doing there, Josh?
I mean, you know my answer.
Is it really Carr?
I have 0 Goff. I have 20% Derek Carr.
I'm playing more Carr than Goff too. I don't love that.
No, I'm going to go downstairs in 9 minutes after we sign off here. I'm going to put Red Zone on, and I'm going to hate myself. I'm going to eat a pizza so I feel sick. And then, I'm just going to watch and hope that I didn't throw all of my money away. It's a tradition that I think should go pretty well for me. That's not true. I think it's going to go really poorly.
I think Carr's not a bad play. I think the smarter play is probably Goff, and I prefer Brandon Cooks to Robert Woods because of ownership, and I just think Cooks is a better matchup. But yeah, Carr is fine though.
Ben and I are going to die on the Derek Carr island today, whatever.
I think I have enough of him where if he does well, it'll be useful for me, but not as much as Josh Rosen, baby.
If a Raiders stack can be solid, it really makes me interested in how the rest of my lineups look because of how much savings there will be because of it. So
I do think the chat right now is giving the logic why it's good to play Carr. Colts will kill Carr. Carr is a terrible QB. Everybody's going to think that. The Colts D has had one good week. They're not a good defense.
yeah, look, I hope McCod, I hate you.
McCod does a good troll job, but he does he earned the right to troll and be a bit of a dick sometimes. McCod's here every day and being a beloved member of our community.
McCod knows I don't actually hate him.
No, of course not. But I just want to point out, like, hey, we don't mind trolling here. Like, that's fine, but like, you gotta earn it. Gotta earn your stripes. Earn your Yankee stripes for you.
Very true. And McCod control us from Slack chat, I believe, as well. So you get double the ability to troll.
I had a question that I wanted to ask, and now here we go. Beto, is the Colts D legit? I see Carr throwing like 3 picks. What do you think about the Colts defense? Are you playing any of them? And I guess I don't know. It doesn't scare you at all. Does the Colts defense not scare you at all off Derek Carr?
No, I forgot the Colts had a defense.
They just had one good week. They had one good week versus Derek Anderson, who had a couple of good drives, honestly, like in the beginning. And then he's a guy who's been playing golf for 4 years. So that didn't turn out. But
so in the whole like defense doesn't matter debate, defense doesn't matter to me if ownership is low. Like, I don't give a shit about the Colts defense if I can play guys at no ownership because everyone thinks that matters. Defense matters, but if it gives me an opportunity to roster guys that I like at low ownership, then I'll go that way.
Yeah, I think that makes sense to me. And are you playing the Steelers defense, or are they not as much of a chalk issue on FanDuel?
Steelers defense, I have quite a bit of, and they are, in fact, chalky.
Okay. Yeah, I like them. I mean, I think everybody likes them, but boy, they are very chalky on DraftKings. They're very chalky.
Yeah.
They are the third projected highest owned player. Or this is Steelers defense.
That's nuts. That's you shouldn't play them.
Any Baker to go against that thing?
No Baker. The only thing I'm doing from Cleveland is Chubb and some Landry on the way back.
No Njoku?
Very little.
I don't know why I was so heartbroken. I like Njoku. When I'm not playing the Steelers D, I did play a lot of Njoku.
Yeah, very, very little Njoku.
God, 33% ownership for the Steelers. That is wild.
You shouldn't. If you're playing a GPP, you should have 10% at most.
Well, we're here now. I might be above the field. I'm taking a stand. I'm going with chalk defenses.
That's usually how it works out well.
Yeah, no, it's the most variable spot. You want to have a lot of that and just ride with it. Just ride the flow.
Yeah.
Chalk wins GPPs also, Michael J. Fitch. Chalk does, usually not at defense, though.
It can. Look, the good scores win GPPs. You hope to get the good scores that are also less likely to be in everyone else's lineup. But, I mean, if the Steelers go for 27 defensive points, Chalk's going to win a GPP probably.
One last time, because people seem to be confused again. Khalil Mack is out. Marlon Mack is in. Get your Macks right, and you'll win the day, I'm sure.
They need to change, and not that this is going to matter, but they should make sports be like the Screen Actors Guild, where like no one can have the same name. Everybody needs middle initials, and you got to be like Jim Jones the 9th or something.
But they have different first names. So
right.
That's not
right. I guess that's true. But you can't have the same last name anymore.
There's only one in each league. It's like a Chinese daughter. You just gotta.
I think my body knows it's about to get pizza and is going to work at like 60% of its capacity for the rest of the day.
Hey, it's Sunday. Hey, your body knows. Your body knows it's time to just sit in the hyperbaric chamber that is your life and have a day.
The wife is taking the dog to a dog costume party. She dressed the pug up like a fucking loofah.
Oh, that's a fun costume. That's not the traditional.
He looks so sad.
Wait, Riggs doesn't get a costume?
No, Riggs is not going.
Oh, Riggs is not a good dog party. My dogs are not good dog party people either.
Oh, he would be great. I think it's just going to be really, really crowded, and he's got a ton of energy.
Yeah,
he's really well behaved. He doesn't do bad stuff or anything, but there's just going to be too many people. And he's big.
Yeah,
He weighs like 80 pounds. So
yeah, and my dogs get excited and jump and whatever. They're good with the dogs, but the people, oh, humans, and they're fucking assholes. Speed round some questions. Hunter Mixon for you.
Mixon.
I would also go Mixon. Seals Jones week. Any interest in Ricky Seals Jones?
No.
I have a little bit of him, but I wouldn't say it's Seals Jones week. But if it is, it's great. Any Kittle exposure for you?
Barely. I don't have an aversion to it. I just kind of have an aversion to that game.
It's fair. I do like Kittle. I think a Johnson Kittle stack is one of my popular or whatever running it back. It's one of the things I have a fair amount today. Keenum, Sanders, or Luck?
What?
Oh, wait, what? I just read that.
Oh, Keenum, Sanders, or Luck and T.Y. Hilton is the question you're trying to ask.
Oh, I thought that was like, and thank you.
Yeah, I was like, one of those guys isn't a quarterback. I don't fucking know how to pick anybody. What site is this? Luck and T.Y. though, for sure.
Yeah, Luck and T.Y. for me too.
I was so confused.
Thoughts on Chris Herndon? I'm a little intrigued by Chris Herndon. Not a lot though. It's a little point chasing.
None. No thoughts.
Marlon Mack or Kerryon Johnson?
I believe Kerryon Johnson, but no, Marlon Mack.
Kerryon Johnson, and I also like seeing Carry On My Wayward Son if when he does well. It's actually been a thing I've been thinking the entire week.
Thanks,
thoughts
Boomer.
on Tony Romo? Look, I enjoyed that shtick he would do. Puns are fun.
Oh, so I loved it too.
It's the one thing I miss about him.
And so, yeah, I don't miss much.
Carson for GPP. Not too late now, but
I don't have him.
Not crazy about him. It's not a bad play. It's a timeshare back there, but they can punch a few in. So
they have
if
5
you are
running backs healthy today, I think.
Yeah, they're all healthy, and they're trying to get Penny more touches again. So we'll get a little thin for Carson, but I don't mind it. He's cheap, and we should be locked. There we go. Now it's time to see how Josh Rosen and Derek Carr ruin our lives.
Well, let's hope that one of these tickets catch.
Actually, you know what? The better part is we now have 3 hours before or Derek Carr and Josh Rosen ruin our lives, or they're the hammer, huh?
I don't know what time any of these fucking games start.
They're both late games. Those two, I think, are both late games. They're both on the West Coast.
Well, that should be fun, I guess.
All right, so yeah, we'll keep your eyes peeled for all that stuff. Again, if you didn't sign up for Osmo.com, free week with promo code Live Before Lock. That's Live Before Lock. That'll get you 1 week free. All the ownership projections and rankings, premium articles from Alex, which help break down the slate as well. So go check that out. It is a helpful thing every Sunday to get that in the mix. And yeah, well, no NBA content coming out today, but there will be probably people popping in and out of Slack. So if you are a premium member as well, hop on the Slack. If you have any questions, tag anybody, and somebody will help you out.
I'm playing NBA tonight, so I'll be in Slack.
There you go. Yeah. So get on Slack, talk to Josh. Josh will be around degenning a little bit, and he'll help you guys out. But any final words for the folks before we go cry ourselves into our pizzas?
Stop playing NFL and just focus on NBA.
It's probably the right choice, but no thrill like red zone and your team is moving up the charts. So let's all enjoy it while we can. That's what I'm going to do.
I think that's probably my problem. I don't get the thrill of my team moving up the charts.
Oh, I do, and then it goes away very quickly. But I had one good week this year, like one really solid week, and the rest have been either break even or like just getting hammered. Last week I got crushed.
I've been saving it for this week now that I have so many entries in tournaments that I don't normally play. So I'm hoping one of those comes.
Last thing, Chick-fil-A bet, the Rat Man beat Antonio Callaway.
Yeah, and we talked about this, or at least I messaged you. There were no winners in that.
No, there was a winner.
Ratman had 2 catches for 18 yards, and Callaway had 1 catch for 18 yards when I sent you that screenshot. We both lost.
But the Rat Man did finish ahead. So you do owe me a Chick-fil-A thing, but I would rather roll it forward to next week. We didn't make a bet, but I'll roll it forward.
Yeah, I would rather roll that forward as well. I wouldn't want to win like that or lose like it's just we were both very wrong.
we were. But
neither of us deserves food. Like we should have to starve before we deserve to eat.
I was.
I'm glad you remember that though. That was fucking dreadful.
It was one of the best bets we ever had because I was like sweating it, and it was such a terrible bet.
For sure, when I sent you that screenshot, they both had the same amount of yards, and Ratley just happened to have 2 catches for that, which I think that I should win because of efficiency.
Nope, that's not how this works. But whatever, we'll do a bet next week. But thank you guys for watching. David Riggs is right. Hit the like button before you leave, and we'll see you guys again soon. Here all week with NBA stuff, so keep your eyes peeled. But have a good week and good luck, guys.
Bye.